Dudley Scott, and you're listening to Flashpoint Radio. Rise and shine, your morning boost of inspiration, news, and fun. With Mikey G, Lady Elise, and CoraleeKaren, the unmistakable combination, synergized to navigate.
It's like we're running in circles, going around every day, getting stuck in the hurdles of yesterday. Don't you wanna go further, away from the fray? Let's not get stuck in our worries, we'll make our way. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air, look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside, away from the crowd, just you and me together.
Welcome to the breakfast hour. It is Wellness Wednesday, and it is also a fabulous morning. As a matter of fact, Mikey G, it is the first morning this week that we had no rain. That's okay.
That makes it fabulous.
No. The rain is a blessing. I have to just, be conscious. Sometimes it's gonna be rainy, sometimes it's gonna be sunny.
Rain, yes.
But it's okay.
But some people love it when it rains, It's some people call it a baby weather.
Yeah, well, sometimes sun, sometimes rain, but
sometimes sun, sometimes rain.
Sometimes sunny, sometimes rainy. So good morning and welcome to the breakfast hour. It is the perfect way to start your day. And today, of course, Dr. K will be joining us and we're going to be talking about our health and wellness. But as we get prepared to kick things off, Mikey G, are we going to have our devotionals first?
Yes, we do have our devotionals ready. And of course, our devotional is brought to you by M&M Construction for all your construction needs right here in the Grand Cayman Islands.
Looking to build your dream home or renovate your space? M&M Construction is the perfect place. We bring your vision to life with precision and quality craftsmanship. From design to construction, we guide you every step, ensuring seamless coordination and superior results. Our professional roof inspection and maintenance services will ensure that your roof is sturdy this hurricane season. So, if you are ready to start your construction journey, call us today at 345-927-7509. Build with confidence. Build with M&M Construction. 345-927-7509.
Good morning. This is day 9. I am the Lord. I do not change. Malachi chapter 3 verse 6. A God of Absolutes, written by Paul Van Gorder. I am dubious about the accuracy of our bathroom scale, so I've learned to manipulate it in a self-satisfying manner. The little adjustment knob serves to vary the register, and if that becomes too much bother, I just lean a certain way. The idea is to get a favorable reading, hopefully one that is a few pounds less. We live in an age when many people believe there are no absolutes. Self-serving behavior is rampant and tramples the moral law given for the protection of society. Our culture prides itself on freedom that is actually slavery to sin. But there is a God of absolutes whose scales never lose their adjustment. With him, a pound is a pound, right is right, and wrong is wrong. He says, I am the Lord, I do not change. For us as believers, this puts steel into our spiritual backbone. We gain confidence in the face of difficulty and are assured of the fulfillment of every divine promise. If God were easily moved by every whim or notion, our eternal destiny would be in constant jeopardy. But because He is the unchanging one, we are not consumed. His compassions fail not, they are new every morning. Unchanging God who reigns above, His truth remains forever, and from this faithful God of love, no earthly trial can sever. Our quote this morning reads, Earth changes, but God and His word stand sure. End quote.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Of course, it is Wellness Wednesday, and it is an opportunity for us to think about our health and be deliberate about it and to take steps to maintain a healthy lifestyle, not only for ourselves, but for our family members, friends, and our neighbors as well. And so, on this episode of Wellness Wednesday, Dr. K is joining us, and she's going to be sharing a lot of information. And so, would be the perfect time for you to share the link and let someone know that something special and something very informative is happening right here on the breakfast hour. So, as she joins us this morning, we're going to be sharing some crucial tips that we need to take care of our health.
Indeed, today's is like we are saying men's health today. We're talking about the health of men in this episode. And as we delve into this one, I trust and hope that it will be beneficial not just to the men, but to the women as well, who knows how to take care of us even better. All right. So having said that, when we come back. I want to say a pleasant good morning to Dr. K. Dr. K, good morning to you. How are you doing this morning?
Mikey G, good morning. Lady Elise, how are you today?
You know, I don't know if you got any of the greetings I sent for you. I just can't
I
say good morning. I
did.
have to say top of the morning to you. Today you are just a little bit wiser. I would say more beautiful. And congratulations and happy belated birthday to you.
Thank you so much. I got all the wishes yesterday. Yes, I was watching.
Okay,
Thank you so
so
much. I did.
yes.
Well, I must add my quota also of happy birthday, Dr. K, to you. And of course, may you live to see many, 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 many more birthdays. In,
Yes, I
in
was
good health,
wondering
in good
yesterday when
health.
I saw all the showers. I was like, yes, this is showers of blessings.
Ah, yes, yes. Blessings indeed on your earth strong.
Showers of blessing this morning. And we are talking about men's health this week. Well, it's not necessarily to say men's health. That's not the alignment of our topic. But in retrospect, we are looking at the health of men in this particular episode. of the Wellness Wednesdays, of course, with our own Dr. K this morning. So, Dr. K, when I thought about it and I looked at some of the many things that can go wrong with us, not as human beings, but as the species called human beings, but in particular the men aspect. We have this species called humans or men, because God said, "Let us make mankind." We call it humankind. So we have done another thing. But tell us a little bit more today about how it is that we are prone to this particular kind of disease that we're going to be talking about.
Okay, so today, um, as we spoke about last week, we're going to be talking about testicular cancer, and I'll touch something on penile cancers too.
Mm-hmm.
But testicular cancer is not a very common cancer, okay? It tends to be one of the rarer forms of cancer in men, and generally in terms of cancers too. But it's something that happens, and we need to be aware. So it's the most common form of cancers, though, or in terms of younger persons, 15 to 35-year-olds.
Mm.
So even though it's not a common cancer, but it's the most common cancer affecting men in that age. Okay? And if you remember some time ago, we talked about in terms of examining men, examining their bodies, and making sure younger men go to the doctor, or even when you have your children, that's something that we look for. You make sure there are two testes
Mm.
in the sac, one in each sac. Okay, so you feel the sac, and if there are two testes, you're good. But sometimes one is not has not descended. Okay,
Ah.
and it's somewhere along the path, because embryologically, the testes aren't formed in the sac. They're formed in the abdomen, and they move down as the child develops. So when your baby is born, they're supposed to have two testes. If there's only one, then you're going to be searching for the other one. And so if you find it, you can plant it or put it in the testis, in the scrotum, and sometimes it may not have descended, so sometimes it may have to be removed because it can actually become malignant.
Dr. K, as you mentioned that just now, I remember growing up, and in our very tight knitted community, you would hear the term, this, you have one seed. You only have one seed. And I just listened to you just describe that a while ago. I understand the concept because, we heard this thing a lot of times. And of course, for those who are within our culture, would probably have heard it before. I don't know if you have, but this is something that I heard people say that you can't get no children because you only have one seed. I didn't know what it meant until later on. And now to hear you say and explain how it actually works. And so in our culture we call the testes well, of course, seeds that you plant.
Yeah, but does it? I don't know if it connotates to just having one testis,
No, I'm just
or
I'm
it's
just saying
just
that's
something.
just a statement that people use. I'm not saying that it is so. People curse people all the time and use terms to do it. So
Or probably they mean that they're infertile. I have no idea
that
what
no,
that
they,
means.
they're,
Probably
they're sometimes speaking about the
infertility.
infertility of the person, and then say go away. He's cursing, being disrespectful to the person, and say you only have one. In this sense, they didn't know the word probably test or test.
Seed. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah. So basically, the main takeaway from testicular cancer is that it's more common in, as I say, 15 to 35. It's more common in non-whites, Okay, it's more common if you have a family history of testicular cancers, and it's more common if you have some abnormality when it comes on to some genetic predisposition to abnormalities such as Klinefelter syndrome, which is an abnormal gene. But those are the ones who are more likely to get testicular cancer. So as I said, age, um, if your race and ethnicity, it's more common among non-whites or family history. But the thing to do is always know your body. Examine your organs. Examine your body. Men, feel. Know what normal feels like. So if there's a lump on it, if you're feeling heavy in the testis, okay? And there's another thing that actually cause you to have that too. But you need to just check your doctor, because if you have a inguinoscrotal hernia, you can get that enlargement and heaviness in the testis. If there's any change in your testis, you need to know. You need to look at yourself, feel, know what it feels like. Okay? And if there's anything abnormal, then you'll be able to go to your doctor and get treated. And remember, early detection can lead to almost complete cure. So
Ah.
once there is, and so when you go to your doctor, you say, your doctor, I feel something wrong with I think there's something there. It feels heavy, or I feel in a lump, or I feel like one testis is moving up and the sac feels empty. Your doctor is going to examine you.
So
That's the
you're saying
first
that
thing.
it can actually move down or up.
Well, it's gonna, because you have a yeah, sometimes the testis not move all the way up, but it goes a little higher.
Ah.
So you feel one is supposed to be lower than the other. So if you know what that feels like, and you feel it like both of them are on the same level, or it feels smaller, then yes, you can go to it. But if you don't know what it feels like, you won't know the difference.
You just said to me a while ago that some of the men have their testes going back up. I mean, that's why they're behaving the way they are behaving. Having their proper amount of test.
It doesn't go back up to where
I
it
mean,
came
I'm
from, honey.
specific. No, but I see men behaving. They're so not being themselves, and they're so willing to be under the control of their wives and stuff. So I'm saying maybe their testes are going up. They're not able to. I don't know. The least might understand that. Like, okay, I know
No,
you.
Lady Elise, don't understand him.
No,
No, no,
as I learn,
Dr. K.
it gets clearer to me how, because I'm interested in the men, society to be strong and to be doing what they're supposed. When we talk about men in their roles and how they should perform, then you see that they are in the position that everywhere you look, they are in the one that they are being led and they're not the leaders. So I'm saying, what's happening to our men? No one understand that it's possible for the testes or the testicles to go back up, and it could cause a deficiency in the man's thinking process. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just messing with that. Doc, I know you're going to clarify that statement right away. But you tell me. And I see a lot of it going on. I see a lot of men who are just, under that guise. So I'm thinking to myself, those men must, I don't know, something's going on with them. So I must be. I'm not sure. Or is it possible? Do women don't have testicles, testes, or do they have it somewhere? A girl is born with this. It just come to my mind that it must be that it is there, but somewhere.
I'm lost.
No, I'm just thinking, if we're human
But
beings,
going back to the conversation though,
yes.
one of the things that I found quite enlightening is the fact that this cancer is in the younger male.
Population.
It affects the younger male, and I think, I don't know if you know, as women, we are taught about examining our breasts and, knowing what is normal or what is abnormal. And certainly in their pediatric years, men would have gone to the doctor and ensure that if the testicle is undescended, that
Mhm.
it could be surgically placed in the right position, or at least be aware of what's happening in your body. Now, remind me, Dr. K, of what age. Not to take away from
No,
your conversation,
I
Mikey
wanted, I
G.
know what you're saying, Lady Elise. I'm gonna allow it, but here's something that I wanted to say before you go there. I
Wait,
remember my
allow
friend
me to
talking
finish
to me
the
about the chicken.
question.
Listen what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Just listen what I'm saying, please. I remember my friend talking to me about his chicken. Now, the chicken has his testicles, but the testicles is in the back of the chicken. That's what he says to me. And so, to castrate the chicken, you can take out the testicles so it can produce. I remember this conversation I was having with someone who had this experience, who he could do this thing. So I am saying, do women actually born with the potential? Like it has, and it's somewhere else, but it's not down. Does this thing happen? I'm very curious. So I want that answer. I don't know if anybody have ever thought about it, but I'm thinking that if we are human beings, and men have the potential to grow breasts, because if you do hormones, then it happens. I see that happening. I see a lot of guys doing it. So I'm saying, do women have those glands that can turn into testicles as well?
No.
Okay, I was just curious. I was just curious. Sorry, Lady Elise,
By
to.
virtue that they're women, they have female reproductive organs.
Oh,
By
that's what
virtue that
happened.
they're men,
Okay.
they have male reproductive organs.
I just wanted to clear that up for me, Lady, Dr. K. Please, I just really was curious and I wanted to know. All right, sorry. Lady Elise, apologize for that because I was so curious a while ago. My mind just keep running. All right, sorry. You're about to ask the question. Please, if you could rephrase the question. And for our listeners and our viewing audience, please, Mikey G, have a curious mind. I just wanted to know. All right, just wanted to know. Lady Elise, you were saying.
Yes, Lady Elise, you were saying at what age?
Yes, just remind us what age testicular cancer is more prevalent.
At age 15 to 35.
15 to 35, the prime of life. And
That's
and
correct.
and what would be the first symptom that one experiences?
So the first symptom that one might experience, it might be a lump. They might feel they might feel like there is heaviness, swelling or fluid build up in the scrotum. So the scrotum might feel like there's something in there. So it feels a little heavier. So when it's going to be fluid or swelling, or there might be pain, but the pain is not as significant. It's not really the first thing. There is pain or discomfort, but it's not going to. That's going to herald you that something is wrong, especially if you don't know and you don't normally feel. So you're going to feel this discomfort in there, and you're going to go, "This is unusual." But the most common thing is that you're going to feel like there's a lump there. There's something happening there. It feels like there's a swelling or fluid or something. So it's going to feel a little different. It's going to feel like it's heavier.
Okay, all
And
right.
so the
But the
doctor.
most thing is that you might feel a lump or swelling on either testis. And the lump and swelling may give you that sensation that it's a little, even if it's a smaller lump, you're going to get the sensation that something is there. Like there's a swelling, it's bigger, there's fluid there, there's something wrong with that testis.
So
And
doc.
the first thing then the person needs to do is to see their physician. Do you find that men are more reluctant, especially when it relates to something relating to their private parts? They're not
Well,
sure, they're not wanting to go to the physician first. Maybe they'll just hope that it will just go away on its own.
That's correct. Men don't necessarily want to go to the doctor often when it comes on to their genital organs. It's, I don't know what it is. They don't want to go to the doctor at all. But when it comes to their genital organs, they definitely don't want to go. When they go to check in their prostate, they don't want to go. When it comes down to a lot of things, so you'd have men come in, and listen to me, Lady Elise. I remember this gentleman came to the hospital one day, and he's diabetic. And if you ever know about priapism, that is a
Yes.
prolonged erection, it is painful. And this man, apparently he's diabetic. He hadn't had an erection in a long time. And when he came to the hospital, it was days. The man sat down watching his erection there for days without coming to the doctor until the pain was too much. And the sad thing about it, that was probably the last time he would have gotten an erection because of the procedure to treat his prolonged priapism. But I'm just saying, if he had come earlier, they would be able to treat him. But the man sat there and waited for days.
Mercy.
I suppose probably in his case, I don't know. Probably because he hadn't had one in a long time, he was probably enjoying the effect of it. I don't know. But for days, you stay home with this problem. And I find that men will have a problem, and instead of seeking medical attention, they shy away and stay home instead of going to your doctor. But the thing to do, once you feel that something is wrong down there, and it doesn't have to be cancer, because remember, there are other things that can cause you to have that swelling. You can have epididymitis, which is an inflammation of the epididymis, or you could have probably, it's inguinal hernia. They notice that you had a lump in your groin, and the contents move down through the sac into the scrotum. But the thing to do is that you need to make sure you're not the doctor here. You're not the physician, the person with all the knowledge. So you know something is wrong with your body, and that's what you know. You know that that wasn't there a few weeks ago, but it's there now. So your doctor will examine, will send you for an ultrasound, just an ultrasound to look to make sure that everything is normal there.
I was
And from
actually I
there,
was actually going to ask if the ultrasound would be able to produce the evidence of what's happening inside, but you actually answered right just
absolutely,
before.
a simple ultrasound will be able to see
Mm.
if there's a lump there, or if there's normal structure. If nothing is wrong, the ultrasound will be able to say there's no increased fluid here, there's no mass here, the scrotum is normal, the testes are normal in size, there's no torsion or anything happening with the testes. And yes, they'll be able to give you that information. A simple ultrasound will be able to give a significant amount of information when it comes on to your scrotal anatomy.
Well, I know for one thing you mentioned earlier that men are not likely to go to the doctor to get this examination done at all. In fact, are at a regular or alarming rate. I myself, I will tell you that I've never gone to the doctor. I will say this one. I am not claiming to be proud of what I'm saying, or I'm just saying that I myself, I've never gone to the doctor to actually get a checkup like that. So I've never actually experienced that checkup. I'm more likely if I go to the doctor, I would prefer, I'm happy that women are actually doctors as well, and so I get a female doctor to actually do my examination over a male doctor. I'm trying to say, I'm choosing, that people who are sick sometimes don't have much choice, and you are just sick and you want to get rid of these things and all that. But I'm telling you, as long as I have the choice, I'm going to be choosing the female to really do that little squeezing up thing there. I don't know. I'm just really thinking about it. But I think when you said it a while ago, it's important for men to actually do check on their health, and to ensure that you get your doctor look in on you and to ensure that you are not having any of these symptoms that Dr. K is actually talking about this morning. Because as you said earlier, early detection can actually lead to actually cure and of course a reading of the entire thing, which that is sounding like good news. Many men would hear this morning and would feel deprived of this conversation. If they had heard it earlier, they would probably have, maybe in a better position today. And I can say, Doc, thank you this morning for that little bit there for me, because I am still thinking about it. So I have to go now and get my examination done.
But
And one of the important things, as you mentioned, that it's more important whether you go to a male or female, be deliberate about it, and don't ignore anything that is a little off. As Dr. K mentioned, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's cancer, but if you're feeling something abnormal, see a physician. Find someone that you are comfortable with sharing that information and have it checked. It doesn't hurt. And of course, Dr. K mentioned that she would have been touching a little bit on penile cancer. And maybe persons would have said, I've never heard you can have cancer that affects the penis. So I
Men don't
ask
want to
you,
hear that at
are
all.
two connected?
no, both of them are not connected. They're two different things. As I said, mostly with testicular cancer, it's younger persons. Penile cancer occurs in older persons.
All right, what of
So
penile cancer? What
te-
of penile cancer?
testi- testicular cancer, as I said, mostly occur because of problems with the testes itself. I mean, problems with it not coming down, problems with a family history of it. But penile cancer is different. The other thing I wanted to mention with testicular cancer, because it occurs in such young age. If you notice, whenever your child goes to the doctor, and your child should get at least a checkup until they're 21 years old, at least every year. So when you go to your doctor, your pediatrician, from they're born until well, some pediatricians see you at 21 and then they hand you over. But some pediatricians see you at 18, some pediatricians see you at 16. So there's pediatrician and adolescent medicine where they can see you a little bit earlier. So your pediatrician knows you. They've seen you for all your life. The thing about it is that a baby may not be born with both testes in the sac, but usually by 3 to 6 months it would have come down. If it has not been, if it has not descended in the testis, then your doctor is going to look for it and surgically plant it if they can find it. If not, and it's somewhere else and it cannot be, then it might have to be removed. But the thing is that every year you go to your doctor, and if you have sons and you take your sons to their pediatrician, the one at the end of the examination, they're going to be checking their scrotum just to
I,
make sure everything is fine.
you know what I find is common though, Dr. K. They probably would have gone to the physician and found out that, okay, testes undescended and we're going to need to check in such and such a time, and they never return
That is
because
true. They're
they
lost to
are
follow up. Yeah.
hoping that everything would be okay, so they never return. And then the situation is that later on in life it's like a surprise again, because you would have buried that information, buried it, and then you find out that these things could have been prevented if they were addressed from an earlier age. So let's be vigilant and take care of our health. That's so important.
Right. So cancer of the penis is a little different because cancer of the penis occurs because of what would I say now? Many different causes. You can have squamous cell cancers, which are just cancers of the skin. You can have cancers because of human papilloma virus. It's the same cancer that causes cervical cancer in women, can cause cancer in men. And another thing that can cause cancer is that, poor hygiene. For example, men who have something we call phimosis, where they're not circumcised, and this the skin, which is the foreskin, is tight, so they can't pull back to clean the head of the penis, or we call it penile, the gland, the gland, the penile
Mm-hmm.
gland. Right, so they can't pull back. So what is happening is that there's this smegma, that's a white, thick, cheesy material that's
Ah,
under the foreskin. And if
ah.
that is not washed away and that's not clean away, that can increase your risk of getting penile cancers.
Question, doc.
So hygiene is an important thing in getting penile cancers.
Question to you, doc. Recommendation for as you talk about circumcision. Uh, is circumcision a recommended way going forward for young boys or men in this sense,
And and
for health
and
care?
and that is something that occurs with the person. That's all, that's individualized. There are
Okay.
persons who believe in circumcision, and there are persons who
No,
do not want their children to be
I'm speaking. I'm
circumcised.
speaking from it. I'm speaking to it from a asking you from a medical perspective, and I'm leaving religious um, concept from it. From a medical term position, would it be beneficial for men to actually get circumcised just medically, not to say who wants it done or not, just to look at the thing and say, if men actually get circumcision, it would probably be more beneficial to them in their health, even though persons don't want it. But we're not going to use that. We just want to look at it from a health
Okay,
perspective.
so
Yes.
what they're doing right now in terms
Mm.
of circumcision, and is that they're not completely, they're circumcising the child, but historically they would take off the entire foreskin. What they're doing now is that they're taking off partial. So the circumcision is not taking off the entire foreskin anymore. What they're doing is taking off part of the foreskin, so the foreskin retracts easily from their born, so you can clean
Yeah.
the penile gland. So that is something that's recommended because it increases the hygiene. But the usual, say you're not, you don't have like have you ever seen a circumcised penis? If you've seen it, or um historically it was the entire gland that was gone.
Dr. K,
But
just by
now it's
asking me
like
the
a little
question,
bit of the
just by asking me the question, I feel a way about it already. If I've ever seen one. I don't know where, I don't know where to look at.
but you have children. You
No, no, I don't know, but I've never thought of circumcising my sons. So, in that sense, and for some unknown reason, I don't remember having too much contact with my sons. At least, too much. I'll be honest with you. I don't remember it. And but when you said a while ago, if I ever seen a circumcised penis,
But
I'm like, where would you
but
find one of those?
the
So
question
I don't
that
know.
comes
I
to
don't
my
know.
mind, Dr. K, that means there's no correlation then in circumcision um, in relation to penile cancer. There is no statistic to say if you're circumcised, you're more at risk, less at risk for penile cancer.
Well,
but the thing about it, as I said, if you have phimosis where the foreskin cannot be retracted, then
Yes.
that increases your risk.
Okay. Okay.
So if you have a foreskin that can retract and you can clean,
Mm-hmm.
you're less likely to get
the,
penile cancers. So you can pull back the foreskin, you can clean. There's no smegma buildup right there. You can get cancer of the foreskin that can cause. You can get cancer cells being formed in the foreskin. It can be just on the shaft of the penis. But so it's not like I'm going to say because you have uncircumcision, you're going to have an increased risk of penile cancer. I'm not going to say that
You know,
Okay.
I know,
because
I
because that is not exactly something that we have as a risk factor for penile cancer. But
You,
the thing that we can say is that the different types of penile cancer we know is just the skin, and even you can get melanoma on the penis, and that is the darkening, the cells that cause you to have that dark color can be malignant, you know, and then you can have the poor hygiene. But if you're uncircumcised and your penis your foreskin can retract completely and you're able to clean, that does not increase your risk because you have a foreskin. But if the foreskin is tight, then your doctor might want to circumcise you in order to get that hygiene process to decrease your risk.
I know you just talk about the color black and but I just remind that some persons are actually their color is black, and so I don't, you know, we want to know if that's going to be a problem for some people if they see some colors being black. But the thing is, I was going to ask the question. I know it's a little bit segueing a little bit from the cancers, but do the circumcision tend to cause less of sensitiveness in terms of sexual potency for the male?
Yeah, but that's another question. That's another reason why some men will not want to get circumcised. But based on what I'm seeing with the circumcision, because there's some um foreskin that's left, it's not like you're removing it and bearing it completely. That should not be an issue.
Okay.
well, I just want to remind our listeners and viewers, if you're just joining us, this month is celebrated, or it is Testicular Cancer Awareness Month. And whether you're not, you are male or female, you might have a brother or uncle, somebody you can share this information with. And of course, the key takeaway is remembering that although testicular cancer is rare, it is a cancer that affects the younger man. So be vigilant, as Dr. K mentioned. If you feel anything unusual, or if you're a parent and your son, or somebody comes to you having some concern, encourage them to visit the physician, because as a simple examination and an ultrasound can be beneficial, so that you can nip anything in the bud. Right, Dr.
Correct.
K?
That's correct. That's so correct. And remember, testicular cancer is not something that is preventable, but is something that is treatable and it's curable. So there's nothing you can do to say, I'm going to my prevent you from getting cancers. The only thing you can do is to examine yourself and to make sure you have your testes there and to make
Yes.
sure that they're normal or they feel normal. The main takeaway is to know your body.
Okay, there you have it. I want to thank you so much, Dr. K, for sharing this wealth of information for us and keeping us current. Because when there are other features, we hear a lot about breast cancer and other cancers, but we penile cancer is not something that I'm like, really? Cancer affects almost every single area. And of course, it is beneficial for us to be healthy and to take care of our bodies, and also to encourage our friends, our family members, our neighbors to also be vigilant and take care of their health. Thank you so much for sharing with us this morning. And certainly, we have gained a lot of knowledge and wisdom from your discourse this morning.
Thank you.
Well, of
It
course,
was a
this
pleasure being
morning,
here.
this this morning I also want to add my quota of thank you. And I think there are many persons who want to say thank you as well. All right, so good morning. I have one guest on the line who want to say personally welcome and of course a thank you for today's presentation and to wish you some well. Good morning. You're live on air. Can you just tell her all the things that you want to tell her this morning, sir?
Oh, okay, definitely. Dr. K, thank you so much. I listened partially to your presentation, and I'm happy to know that you can share with the community all the relevant information. That's very helpful. And I know you had a great day yesterday on your birthday, and you want to continue celebrating it today and for a long time. We wish you many, many years of happiness and prosperity and all of God's blessings. So enjoy your wonderful day. And we love you. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All
Sure, sure.
right.
Anytime, anytime. All right.
What a way
Lovely day.
to. Thank you so
That's
much.
supposed to help with your health, Dr. K. Your health. Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
All right. I'll talk with you later, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. Bye bye.
All right. So
Bye.
having said that, I would say we started well and we ended well. For those persons who have this black on their, go check it out. If you're born black, careful. And then, of course, Dr. K, thank you this morning for the wealth of information that you always bring, and to putting up with me and my, my very sometimes, Well, anyways, just those questions are so curious, and people always ask some really curious questions. They are sounding ridiculous sometimes, but trust me.
And I will not ignore two questions that I've ignored in the chat. Is circumcision the best recommendation overall? I think you answer that. Why and why not? And also, what about sensitivity after circumcision? And also, that question was already asked, but they were in the chat. And I want to thank, of course, our viewers for participating in the discussion thus far.
Well, Mikey G can tell you that I am not circumcised, and I think that it would have taken away from me quite a bit.
TMI.
I'm just making that.
TMI.
We're talking about circumcision, guys. All right, Doc, thank you very much for coming on this morning and doing such a wonderful job. See you next week, same time, same place. And also, just want to say happy birthday to you again.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4, Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. Asai Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call Asai Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
I'm Audley Scott, and you're listening to Flashpoint Radio. Rise and shine. Your morning boost of inspiration, news, and fun. With Mikey G, Lady Elise, and CoraleeKaren. The unmistakable combination synergized to navigate.
Welcome back. It's still the breakfast hour, still Wellness Wednesday. And of course, we are not getting out of here until we say
Yeah.
an extra special birthday greeting to the lady called Charm, aka Brenda. And we say happy birthday. She is a member of the VIP here, and of course, my sister. And of course, we want to say happy birthday. And I'm sure Mikey G has
Yes, but I want to add
good
my
things to
quota.
share.
Yes, I add my
Yes.
quota of also birthday wishes to our lovely Charm. I do have a photograph of her picture to put up this morning. Did we have one? Did we have one? No, didn't have one. Okay, but I want to
Yes.
say
Oh,
yes.
no.
I want to say happy birthday to you. I should put one up tomorrow. I want to say happy birthday to you, Charm, of course, for your friendship and, of course, to be a friend of Flashpoint as well. And, of course, there's someone else who wanted to wish you happy birthday, and this is what they said.
Brenda Wilcock, happy birthday to you, my partner in crime and favorite troublemaker. Today we celebrate you, the one who knows all my secrets and still hasn't sold them to the tabloids. The one who always laughs at my worst jokes and the one who makes life more fun. Honestly, I don't know how the world hasn't declared a national holiday in your honor. Let's just say they are missing out. May your day be filled with laughter, cake, rum cream, and the kind of questionable decisions that make the best stories later. You deserve all the happiness in the world and maybe just a little chaos for good measure. Ciao.
A partner in crime, of course, that was, one of the many friends that you have, some rum cream.
Someone who knows all our secrets and
Yes,
have
can you
not
imagine?
sold it to the
I've not
tabloids.
spilled the beans. You can't find friends like that anymore, no. You
Yes.
have to be careful the people who you talk to. They become friends, and the next thing you know, they're your immediate enemies. They're the ones who will kill you because you give them too much information, and they use it to their advantage to hurt you.
TMI.
Yes,
Of
yes,
course.
yes.
So, of course, we have another greeting that you need to share as well.
All right, so let's share that greeting again. All right, so let's do it.
Happy birthday, my darling sister Brenda. I hope that you have a fabulous day. And may the Lord bless you with many, many, many more fabulous, wonderful, beautiful birthdays.
Ah!
Happy birthday to you, Charm, this morning, a VIP of Flashpoint.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
Of course.
Oh man, all right, all right. Happy birthday, Charm. It has been a morning and a half. When persons, I said, I am not circumcised, immediately persons may go, Mikey G, you are an uncircumcised Philistine. My mind just went there. I just hear people saying, Mikey, you are an uncircumcised Philistine. You know the story, Lady Elise. It's not a bad word, people. Please, come on. Get this stuff. Alright, so having said that, we are, it has been a well-spent morning. Of course, it's time for news. And indeed, of course, after that, I guess we'll get into the studio and we're going to tell you bye-bye for today. But before we tell you bye-bye, of course, remember, this segment of the Breakfast Hour is brought to you by Asai Ultrasound for all your ultrasound needs. Right here in the Grand Cayman. And of course, our news is coming up next. Any last words, Lady Elise, you want to say?
Just want to say, have yourself a well Wednesday. And of course, may the Lord bless you abundantly more than you can ever ask, think, or imagine. And of course, let's see what the news has for us.
All right, news time comes up next. Yeah. One more time, happy birthday, Charm. Have a blessed one. Because I want to say good morning to Beverlyn. I've not talked to Beverlyn for a while, so I want to say good morning to Beverlyn as well. Good morning, Beverlyn. Of course, we need to catch up. All right, having said that, news time brought to you by Asai Ultrasound.
When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4 Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. Asai Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call Asai Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
Happy birthday, my darling sister.
Earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee. Yes, it's me, Earthquake. I come in Tuesday around 10. No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced. And when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't go to the doorway or any exit. Stairs might block up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without ear. Take cover under a strong table or a bed or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take for yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, don't want to run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
the April. And these are the news headlines on Flashpoint Radio. I'm CoraleeKaren. Budget deficit looms ahead of Cayman election. The Cayman Islands government is staring down an $81 million swing from surplus to deficit as its financial outlook deteriorates ahead of this month's general election. Originally forecast to end 2025 with a surplus of $54.7 million, the latest pre-election economic and financial update shows the government is now expecting a $26.2 million deficit. The shortfall is largely due to unbudgeted spending and revenue-generating laws that were never enacted. This budget reversal could force the incoming government to seek UK permission for further borrowing or spending. The April 30 election will decide who inherits this fiscal challenge. PPM unveils Something for Everyone election manifesto. The People's Progressive Movement launched its 48-page election manifesto at a packed rally on Saturday night. Party leader Joey Hugh pledged new solutions for modern problems backed by the party's record in office. The event was energized by hundreds of supporters, and former leader Kurt Tibbetts made an appearance on stage. Hugh also urged Caymanians to draw inspiration from national sporting heroes like Jordan Crooks. Georgetown South candidates spar over jobs and tourism. Friday night's Chamber of Commerce Candidates Forum saw three hopefuls for Georgetown South debate critical issues. PPM's Craig Fester Frederick, the National Party's Gary Peanut Rutty, and Independent Alec Lindsay tackled questions on economic sustainability and cruise tourism. Rutty harshly criticized the current tourism offering, calling it absolute garbage, and opposed expanding cruise berthing. Frederick defended the sector, stating many Caymanians rely on cruise-related businesses, saying, quote, "We're now saying to them that you're not important," end quote. Concerns raised over Jamaican fishing initiative. Not a single mai-mai was caught at this year's BK Big Fish tournament, raising eyebrows among Cayman's fishing community. Environmental concerns are now surfacing over a World Bank-funded program in Jamaica, which is equipping fishers with long lines and other gear to target migratory species like tuna, wahoo, and mai-mai. The Cayman Islands Department of Environment warned that long line fishing can lead to overfishing, bycatch of turtles and seabirds, and damage to marine ecosystems. And in regional news, Jamaican travelers urged to get yellow fever vaccine. Jamaica's Ministry of Health is urging travelers to get vaccinated against yellow fever amid rising cases across the Americas. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Jacqueline Biseso Mackenzie reminded the public that yellow fever is transmitted by mosquitoes and that vaccination should be done at least 10 days before travel. She stressed that any suspected case must be reported within 24 hours. CARICOM calls for urgent talks with the U.S. CARICOM Chair Mayor Motley is calling for urgent high-level talks with the United States in response to sweeping new tariffs introduced by President Trump. The Caribbean faces tariffs as high as 38%, with Guyana among the hardest hit. Motley said Caribbean nations must now accelerate efforts to invest in local agriculture and manufacturing, diversifying export markets, and buy local and regional to weather the storm. She stated firmly, quote, "To the United States, I say this simply, we're not your enemy, we are your friends," end quote. Trump digs in. Despite the global sell-off, President Trump stood firm. Quote, "These tariffs are medicine," end quote. he said aboard Air Force One, insisting that the goal is to level the trade playing field regardless of market volatility. As diplomatic overtures and economic anxieties collide, the world waits to see how deeply the U.S. tariff regime will reshape global trade dynamics in the months to come. Those were your news headlines on Flashpoint Radio. Please continue to stay tuned for more updates.
I'm Audley Scott, and you're listening to Flashpoint Radio. Rise and shine, your morning boost of inspiration, news, and fun. With Mikey G, Lady Elise, and CoraleeKaren, the unmistakable combination, synergized to navigate.
It's like we're running in circles, going around every day, getting stuck in the hurdles of yesterday. Don't you wanna go further, away from the fray? Let's not get stuck in our worries, we'll make our own way. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air, look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside, away from the crowd. Just you and me together, we'll all sing there outside. Just us in the sky. Part of this circus, is it innate? Feels like a heavy burden, but I can't relate. Do our actions even matter, or is this our fate? At least now I'm feeling better, I'm here to stay. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air, look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside, away from the crowd. Just you and me together, we'll all sing there.
There are two things I do know right now. One, you're listening to Flashpoint Radio. Number two, you ain't gonna keep it to yourself. Flashpoint Radio. Internet comes alive. Inspiration?